Women's strawweight is on fire. And just adding to that, we have a great fight between the Cookie Monster, Carla Esparza, and Marina Rodriguez. And I know people are going to be quick to say Carla Esparza, inaugural UFC strawweight champ. And then she had that fight with Yanni Jacek. But since then, maybe a mixed bag. But even in some of her losses, she's given a good account of herself. I'd like to point to the Claudia Gadelha loss. It was close.
Every time you bring that
I know, I bring it up a
lot
because the fans were really against Gadelha winning that one. But since she's lost 2 in a row, she's won 3 in a row. Her last one is split against Michelle Waterson. Another good one. Across the cage, Marina Rodriguez, she's had 2 draws and then 2 wins between them. The draws are a really good competition, though. And you might want to discount yourself out there and say, well, Randa Marcos, that's not a good one. There's some similarities between Esparza and Marcos. And then in her last one, a draw against Cynthia Calvillo, which actually, overwhelmingly on MMA decisions, a lot of people said 28-28 a draw. So maybe not a surprise there. Rodriguez brings a lot of really good things to the cage. I know she has less fights as a pro. She's older in this one. She's a much taller fighter, much rangier fighter. It's something that Esparza is used to. And for Rodriguez to get moving and get shaken, she's got to get it done on the feet, you would think. Carla Esparza, though, she can really pressure you with the wrestling, really good top game. And for being one of the smaller fighters at 15, she has a lot of success against some of these good strikers and good grapplers as well.
100%. And when you are that tall, rangy fighter, it's a positive, but it's also a negative. That's why I don't think reach is as important as people try to make it out to be, because reach is going to be a positive and a negative. For instance, if I weigh 145 pounds and I'm like 6 feet tall, if a guy's 5'7" and weighs 145 pounds, it means he's going to be a lot stronger than I am, just because he's going to be a lot more compact. And that's kind of what Carla Esparza is at this division. Kind of wild, too, to see Marina Rodriguez is the older of the two, just because when you think of or at least when I do, Carla Esparza has been fighting the UFC forever, and Rodriguez is one of the newer faces of this division. Rodriguez is terrible at defending takedowns, though. And I don't just mean, like, below average. I mean, Cynthia Calvillo was able to take her down.
Calvillo's a decent wrestler.
But not really. She's a great grappler. Her wrestling's always been that kind of missing link between her game. She has good jiu-jitsu. She has good striking. Her wrestling's good, but I definitely wouldn't say it's at Carla Esparza's level. Carla Esparza, other than, you know,
Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah, exactly. Other than Suarez, thank you. I don't really think there's a lot of better pure wrestlers in that division than Esparza. I think it gets her into trouble, though, because she is one of those fighters who, her wrestling's so good, she gets a little trigger happy with it, so she'll just go for shot after shot after shot. Now, I know the Joanna fight was a long time ago, but that really stood out in that fight. She was a little lost on her feet against Joanna. Many fighters are. And she would just panic wrestle. And Joanna made her pay every single time. Those elbows that she landed on the way in from Esparza, they really stand out in my mind. And Rodriguez, I just don't think is going to be able to make Esparza pay for every takedown attempt. So even if Esparza goes, let's say 3 for 8 on her takedown attempts in this fight, I don't think Rodriguez is going to really make her pay for those 5 missed attempts, because it's not like she's going to go out there and go knees, elbows, really clinch up, do a great job on the bottom to work back up to her feet. I think when she goes to the bottom, it's going to be a lot of close the guard, kind of hold Esparza on and wait for the ref to stand us up. And I think Esparza is good enough on the ground to just stay active enough that no matter what, she's going to be able to keep the fight on the floor.
The weird thing about this, too, like Rodriguez, the wins are good. I mean, they are. Jessica Aguilar and Tisha Torres. Torres is a good win. It is. I mean, you look at Torres' last performance against Brianna Van Buren, there's a great example. And she was fighting really good competition for a long time. So that's a good win there. And the numbers really back it up. And I said, like, Marina Rodriguez is pretty good on the feet, so let's look at it. She outstruck Marcos in the fight that they drew. She outstruck Jessica Aguilar 118-50 in terms of significant strikes. In terms of significant ones against Torres, 84-41. And then she got outstruck and taken down by Calvillo. But again, she had a really good round peppered in there. And that's the reason why it ended up being the draw that it was. So in this one, it's tough. And Esparza, if you look at the level of competition, Verna Jandiroba, yeah,
you know.
I mean, she's undefeated going into it. Alexa Grasso, that's a good test. Majority decision. And then Michelle Waterson.
I thought she won the Waterson fight, but still, it was a close one. But is Marina Rodriguez better than Michelle Waterson? I think she's about on par. And Esparza had a close fight with Waterson, so it does tell you that this fight has been matched up. The match rating has been really good. And it does show I hate this term, it's a crossroads fight. Because you have the established vet in Esparza, and although she is younger than Rodriguez is the one who's making her way up the division. And really, that Calvillo draw just keeps on looking better and better, because Calvillo afterwards main evented against Jessica and beat her in a 5-round fight, which was very impressive. So, although I think Rodriguez has a brighter future out of these two. I do think Esparza is kind of on the downturn. She's not really, rising in her career. I think Esparza is going to be able to get it done just because Rodriguez fades a little bit in that third round because she is such a heavy power puncher for the division. Her cardio's not all that there. But I don't think she's enough of a knockout threat to really put Esparza away. So I think Carla's going to be able to get it done in a fairly exciting fight.
Not all that there. There's a good sentence from Matt. If we look over at the picks on Tapology, out of 860, 66% going Rodriguez, 89% saying she's going to win by decision. She's also a favorite in terms of the odds. At about a minus 170 clip, opened as a minus 140, so she continues to gain. Carla Esparza, plus 140 underdog. Here's the thing. Carla Esparza, if I could liken her to a baseball player, and I'm sorry MMA fans, I'm going to make a different sport reference. Some of you might like this, some of you might turn me off right here. Carla Esparza is like Rick Porcello. She came up, she was all right. Moves around, comes into the UFC, you're a champion. Like Rick Porcello, Cy Young with the Red Sox. You get paid, whoop, you drop right off. That's going to happen when you go against Jan Jacek. And then you fight good competition. Rick Porcello kept being a steady pitcher. Carla Esparza, steady fighter. And continues to be a ranked fighter. Here's another tough test in Marina Rodriguez. You're going up against, I don't know, a hot Los Angeles Angels team or something. It's going to be a tough one for you. Let's see if she can pass the test here. I'm going to go with the underdog in Carla Esparza. And listen, you might disagree with me because Rodriguez, again, good volume, good power, serviceable enough on the ground too that she could really stifle Carla Esparza. I just don't see it in this one. But again, Marina Rodriguez is one of those fighters that you string together a few more wins and all of a sudden you're fighting top 5 level competition.
Oh, 100%. And again, out of these two, I think as of right now, the ceiling is higher for Rodriguez. I just think this is a bad matchup for her, so I am going to pick Carla Esparza.
Both going with Carla Esparza, the underdog. Let us know what your picks are for this one. And don't forget to check out the rest of our picks for this card, including an extended breakdown of Whittaker until in our main event. Keep locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt. As we always say, let's get into it.